wanted to make sure that no one is misled by this information. First of all, my name is Maurice Scott, Maurice Jefferson Scott, Sr. And if you're going to do research on a Maurice Scott, make sure that you're researching the right person.
Y'all. Everyone is talking about Maurice Scott openly asking Kimmi to come back. But the big question is he truly sorry? Or is this just him trying to save face? Let's take it from the top and break everything down. At first, on Love and Marriage, Huntsville, Maurice and Kimmi seemed like the mature, steady couple. They weren't constantly arguing or dragging each other across the cameras. Their energy was calm and collected. Kimmi came across as strong and composed, while Maurice positioned himself as the career-focused, family-first husband. They looked like they had it all together. Over time, though, that image started to crack. Viewers noticed something that didn't sit right. Kimmi was the one keeping everything afloat. She managed the household, helped Maurice with co-parenting, took care of her own child, supported his ambitions, and still found time to be there for friends and family. Meanwhile, Maurice seemed absorbed in his own life. Between his law career, coaching his son, and running his own schedule, he rarely paused to see what Kimmi needed. And when she tried to share her feelings,
keep it 100. And before you get on social media, TV, YouTube, talking about what you think you know, maybe reach out to the people that you're about to talk about and ask maybe if it's true or not, because it can land you in trouble when you speak of people that's not true.
Felt like she had to justify them just to be heard. The situation became even more difficult when Kimmi faced serious health issues. She went public with her breast cancer diagnosis, and her courage drew immense support from fans. But behind the cameras, it became clear that something was off. When Kimmi was visibly exhausted or emotional, Maurice seemed distant. Not mean or uncaring, but emotionally disconnected. It wasn't just about being physically present, it was about offering support and understanding. When she needed to talk, Maurice often tried to fix the problem instead of listening. When she needed comfort, he offered logic. Over time, this created a quiet wall between them, a tension that was never openly addressed but deeply felt. And for someone fighting cancer, surgery, chemo, and fatigue, feeling emotionally alone at home can hurt more than any argument. Sources close to the production revealed that Kimmi would often withdraw, not because she wanted distance from Maurice, but because it hurt too much to feel ignored while sitting right next to him. She reportedly told—
I'm not saying that this is all the reason, but True T has really done an amazing thing for Miss Black Titanic, and I appreciate that. And it's always good to see creators supporting other creators. But child, y'all go over there and listen to this, because this right here is the clown of the year, baby.
She felt lonelier in her marriage than she ever had being single. Fans also noticed signs of trouble. Social media posts showed Kimmi without her wedding ring. Birthday shoutouts disappeared. Anniversary pictures were missing. Maurice was busy posting about real estate and speaking gigs, but he didn't publicly acknowledge her or her recovery. That silence raised eyebrows. Kimmi had always been a pillar of support for Maurice, showing up for him through challenges. Now, during the hardest season of her life, she seemed to be going through it alone. Fans began asking, is she really facing this by herself? The emotional absence wasn't just disappointing, it was damaging. Trust, connection, and intimacy.
But what I'm saying, nobody knows what I did when I left, and nobody knows what he did when he left. It's speculation.
Crumbling. Once those foundations weaken, everything else in a relationship becomes fragile. After Kimmi stepped back and stopped responding as she had before, no check-ins, no emotional support, no covering for his blind spots, Maurice's behavior changed. He began calling late at night, leaving long voicemails, sending random texts, pleading for conversation, and even showing up unannounced at her home. This wasn't just "I miss you" energy. It was desperation. He seemed to realize, too late, that the safety net Kimmi always provided was gone. Insiders say he even reached out to mutual friends and family, asking them to convince Kimmi to talk to him. Eventually, Kimmi had to set clear boundaries, telling him not to show up without warning. But the real shock came when a leaked voicemail surfaced online. In the clip, Maurice's voice was shaky, raw, and emotional. He admitted, "I know I didn't show up the way you needed, but I never stopped loving you. If leaving is what you need to heal, I'll respect it, but please, just talk to me one more time." The reaction from fans was split. Some sympathized.
There's a lot that you guys didn't see. However, in the moment that I acted, I was acting to protect the situation, protect my brother from further harm.
Saying it takes courage to admit your emotional mistakes. Others weren't convinced, wondering if it was genuine remorse or just a last-ditch effort to repair his public image. This story highlights a bigger truth about relationships. It's not enough to be present physically, you have to meet each other emotionally. Kimmi gave everything she had, supporting Maurice through thick and thin, yet when she needed him most, he wasn't there. That absence left wounds that can't be fixed by late-night calls or desperate voicemails. Maurice's public pleas now feel like a mix of regret and urgency. Whether they'll lead to reconciliation depends on whether he truly understands what was lost and is willing to rebuild trust slowly, without shortcuts. Relationships don't heal overnight, especially when one partner has carried the weight for so long. At the end of the day, this isn't just a story about reality TV drama, it's a reminder that emotional presence matters. Loving someone means showing up not just in pictures or social media posts, but in quiet, difficult moments when life throws the toughest challenges your way. And until that kind of support is consistent, apologies and public gestures will always feel a little hollow. People started calling it damage control. They pointed out how quiet Maurice had been while Kimmi faced her health struggles, suggesting that his recent actions were really about Kimmi having the strength to walk away from the relationship. But then, things took a dramatic turn online. Out of nowhere, Maurice went live on Instagram, looking visibly shaken. He said he wasn't doing the live video for attention or the cameras. He explained that sometimes, you only realize what you had after it's gone. Maurice admitted that he hadn't always known how to express his emotions properly. Watching Kimmi walk away, he said, made him understand just how much she had carried emotionally, not just for herself, but for both of them. Maurice didn't go into specifics about why they split, but he shared a line that hit hard. "I didn't deserve her grace, and I sure didn't earn her silence." Just when viewers thought he had reached the peak of vulnerability, he took it even further. In the same live session, he pulled out a handwritten letter and a ring that instantly made the internet explode. He explained that he wrote the letter the night Kimmi left. While he didn't read the whole thing aloud, he shared a few lines that left fans emotional. One of the most powerful lines said, "I thought being strong meant holding it all together, but maybe true strength is admitting you were wrong before it's too late." Maurice also revealed he had bought Kimmi a new ring. He clarified it wasn't for a proposal, but as a symbol of starting fresh without repeating old mistakes. Then came the biggest shock. Maurice offered to quit Love and Marriage, Huntsville entirely. He said that if the cameras were part of the problem, if the public life added stress to their marriage, he was willing to walk away from the show that made him famous. "I'd trade visibility for peace with her in a second," he said. Meanwhile, Kimmi didn't respond directly to the live. She didn't make statements or join the emotional wave online, but a couple of days later, she quietly posted an Instagram story. It was just a photo of a cup of tea with the words, "Peace feels different when you earn it." It was subtle, but it spoke volumes. Fans thought maybe a reconciliation was possible when they spotted Kimmi having lunch with Maurice at a low-key spot in Huntsville. But that hope didn't last long. Soon, a woman named Shayla came forward with information that completely changed the story. Shayla, who claimed to be Maurice's mistress, shared screenshots, text messages, and voice notes that suggested Maurice had been unfaithful during the tough times in his marriage. In these messages, Maurice reportedly told Shayla about the difficulties at home and how he struggled emotionally with Kimmi. One message allegedly read, "I'm stuck between the woman I love and a life I'm not ready to leave behind." In it, Maurice seemed to cast himself as the victim. A voice note, lasting 3 minutes, reportedly had Maurice laughing and whispering about a recent getaway he had with Shayla. The timing of this voice note overlapped with some of Maurice's public gestures toward Kimmi, like the letter and ring. Fans were shocked to piece together that while Maurice was showing love for Kimmi online, he might have been involved in an affair at the same time. Shayla said she didn't want attention but felt the need to expose what she called the truth. She said Maurice had created a public image of a devoted husband while living a very different private life with her. When comparing the timeline of Maurice's public apologies and Shayla's claims, it appears he was sending love notes to Kimmi while messaging Shayla about missing her and planning escapes. Maurice and his team responded quickly with a classic PR statement. They said Shayla's claims were false, made by someone looking for attention. Maurice also posted on Instagram, calling the situation unfortunate but denying any wrongdoing. He emphasized that he loved Kimmi and wanted to focus on personal growth and healing, hoping they could work through things privately. However, Shayla's background added weight to her story. She has been known for speaking out before, and has been linked to other high-profile situations. She even shared social media stories showing her with Maurice, at times that didn't match his statements about focusing on his marriage. Kimmi, meanwhile, stayed quiet. She didn't publicly criticize Maurice, but she didn't defend him either. Many believe her silence says a lot. Friends and insiders hint she's emotionally done with the relationship. Some think her quiet posts and actions suggest the marriage might be over for good. People close to her say she's tired of Guy. Friends, she felt lonelier in her marriage than she ever had being single. Fans also noticed signs of trouble. Social media posts showed Kimmi without her wedding ring. Birthday shoutouts disappeared. Anniversary pictures were missing. Maurice was busy posting about real estate and speaking gigs, but he didn't publicly acknowledge her or her recovery. That silence raised eyebrows. Kimmi had always been a pillar of support for Maurice, showing up for him through challenges. Now, during the hardest season of her life, she seemed to be going through it alone. Fans began asking, is she really facing this by herself? The emotional absence wasn't just disappointment.